Good morning, good afternoon, or good night from whenever and wherever you are watching us. I am Cameron Scandal, that is Steven Schreffler, and we are The Sound. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Let me tell you, I don't know when you're going to be watching this, but it is a hot one today right now. Yo, I was at work today and just taking off siding and to put new stuff on, and just standing there, you're covered in sweat. It's super hot. So thank you for being with us. Sorry, what are you going to say?
Oh, I took the dogs for a walk and was sweating by the time I came inside. It's scorching.
It's real hot. But you know what? The viewers are here in their nice air-conditioned homes, hopefully watching us, enjoying the sound. So thank you for being with us here today. We got a great show. We got a lot of stuff going on. And without further ado, we're going to get right into it. We're going to get going. Now, Steve, this is not something I mentioned to you before the show, but we're going to start off with something a little bit different. I have here something that I haven't had yet. I've been looking for, and it's a hot thing on the market right now. I got a Metamoon Prime. All right. Now, I haven't had this one. I haven't had the grape one. No, the fruit punch, tropical punch, whatever. But this is pretty new. I have no idea what flavor would you think Metamoon is? Like, I don't even know what that's gonna taste like. What it would taste like.
I don't even know what kind of drink this is. Is it like
Prime? It's like Gatorade. You've never heard Prime?
No.
Shut up. You've never heard of Prime.
No, I'm today years old when I learned about this. I'm not kidding.
Steve. Logan Paul, KSI, Prime. It's like the hottest drink in the world right now, literally.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
Metamoon, I'm going to say it's going to taste something like cherry.
I was thinking the same thing, like a white cherry kind of flavor. This is also like brand not even open. This is legit. Right, live reaction.
Here we go.
It smells like sweet tarts. That wasn't my stomach, it was my dog, I swear. I don't know what this tastes like. Like Smarties. It tastes like Smarties. That's not sweet tarts. Smarties. Like if you this Smarties.
If you blended up a pack of Smarties and put it in a drink, that's what you're drinking right now.
Yes, it's very sweet.
All right.
Yeah, it's all. I'm gonna give this out of 10. 6.3. I'm gonna say.
Would you buy it again?
I wouldn't buy it again. But if someone was like gonna offer me one, I would still drink it. I'm not spending my own money on this though. Again, I'm glad I got one and not two. Yeah. It's all right. it's fine. Metamoon. What did I say? 6.3. Is that what I said?
6.3 out of 10.
Yeah.
Doesn't make me want to try it.
I guess it's got a little hint of cherry.
I mean, I have to go find out what Prime is first off.
I can't believe you've never heard of, you've never encountered Prime. Like even like through social media, you never scroll. Like that's baffling. Now that we're getting through that, let's get off with our actual first topic of the day. As we mentioned last show, Steve and I are going to start a new segment leading up to the start of the NFL season. We are going to rank each team within each division in the NFL and tell you guys what we think. It's not ranking all the divisions by all the divisions. It's just we're going to take this division, rank the teams, this division, rank the teams, so on and so forth. So today we are starting with the AFC South. We figured it'd be good to get the worst division, the lower ones out of the way. Yeah, this is by far the worst division in the NFL. 3 of the 4 teams have a bottom 27 offense in the NFL.
Yeah, that says
it's really bad. Yeah, so starting off at number 1, I think it's pretty obvious. There really shouldn't be any question, and that's the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah. They were 9-8 this past season, finished 6th in the AFC, beating the Chargers 31-30. Good Trevor Lawrence game, and then losing to Kansas City by 7. I mean, what are you gonna do? They were the 10th ranked offense in the league, and then 24th on defense. So a big difference right there. Adding Calvin Ridley this season can't hurt you to get a better receiver. Trevor Lawrence is the hype we have said, Steve, is a little too much right now. He's getting a lot of noise for, I mean, good for him, but it's just too loud. too loud of a noise. I think it's kind of like Trae Young after the 21 playoff series. Like, it was the first time we've really seen him step up, be good, get some legitimate praise. I just need to see it again going into next season, which Trae Young did. We'll see if Trevor can do that, but definitely a bright future for the Jags. And like I said, they are obviously the best team in this division.
Yeah, no, the Jags are clearly number one. I think the addition of Ridley is going to be really interesting for them. Giving Trevor Lawrence more pieces never hurts. But you're right. It's not the offensive side of the ball that they need to be concerned about. It's the defensive side of the ball. Our boy Nicholas, for whatever reason, has Trevor Lawrence in this upper elite echelon of quarterbacks in the NFL, which I don't see it. You don't see it. I don't see it. It's like we've said. We've seen one good season from Trevor Lawrence, and until I see a second, I don't really know what to say about them other than they are clearly the best team in this division.
Yeah, I mean, they're for sure playoff contender. I mean, I think they're going to get a spot no matter what happens in for their season. They're a good team. No one's saying they're bad. I just don't want to be saying Trevor Lawrence is the top 5 quarterback in the league already when he's done one thing and really
he hasn't had a 10-win season yet.
No. They beat the Chargers, who were the most injury-ridden team in the league last year, probably. I mean, like I say, I'm not saying Trevor Lawrence can't be really good. I just need to see it again. I need a bigger sample size.
Agreed.
The Jags are number 1 in the AFC South. Number 2, we had a little discussion about pre-show, but we figured this was the right decision, and that is Indianapolis being at number 2. Now, they were 4-12 last year, not great. Obviously missed the playoffs. They were the 15 seed in the AFC, so second to last. They had a 27th ranked offense, but a top 15 defense. Mm-hmm. So good for them. I really like, excuse me, Jonathan Taylor. I also really like Gardner Minshew. We had said before the show, Steve, Gardner Minshew, not a regular starter, but can he start for you to hold down the fort while you find something better? Sure, absolutely. I like him a lot. I like Michael Pittman Jr. a lot. I think he has a very promising future as a receiver in this league. He's their best receiver, though, and that's kind of the problem. I mean, there's just not enough talent on that roster on the offense. I think their defense, obviously top 15, you're fine. Could be doing better, but you're fine. But just don't have enough pieces to really move the needle and make this season much different than it was.
Now, what I will say is the addition of rookie Anthony Richardson is an interesting one because he's kind of a big question mark from this year's draft. Strong arm. I mean, this dude, I watched videos of him launching the ball 70 yards in air. And I'm hearing from, I watched the Pat McAfee show a lot, and I'm hearing from a lot of people that are on that show that sources inside Indianapolis said that they got something way better than they expected to get. So Gardner Minshew might start, but it might be this Anthony Richardson kid. So they have one of the more elite linebackers in Shaquille Leonard. He's been absolutely tearing up. I don't think there is that much separation between 2 and 3. I think that either one of them could be number 2 or number 3, but I think for our predictions, I think the Colts fit at number 2.
Number 3, we then have the Tennessee Titans, 7-10 in this past season, the 11 seed in the AFC, bottom tier for both offense and defense, not great. And Steve, our main note on the Titans in pre-show was it's Derrick Henry and who? I mean, Malik Willis and Will Levis are unproven. We have no idea. I mean, I'm not putting much faith or stock into either one of them.
No.
If Ryan Tannehill is your starting quarterback, you're not winning NFL games. Even when he was in Miami, I was like, if you have Ryan Tannehill, you're not winning NFL games.
You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me nothing.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the same boat as Indianapolis, but a little worse. Like, is this team enough to do anything? I mean, Derrick Henry, I mentioned last night, I think teams, if your running back is your best offensive weapon or your best player, it's going to be really hard to win games in today's NFL, and that is Derrick Henry, who you had mentioned is maybe on the decline now. So I just don't think Tennessee has enough to be above the Colts for 2 or really do anything in the league.
If they get DeAndre Hopkins, then they would immediately jump to number 2 for me, because at that point, that is a guy that can take load off of Henry. Yeah. And they have to worry about a deep threat at that point.
Yeah.
But the issue is, you and me have both said, and this is what we talked about with the Dolphins last night when I had my temper tantrum about Tua, is if you don't have a guy to get the ball to your receivers that is proven, then there's a question mark. Yep. Will Levis is a great quarterback. Malik Willis, I think that he was a little overhyped, and I think that the Titans kind of got screwed on him. I don't think he's going to be what everyone thought he was going to be, comparing him to Vic and Lamar Jackson. So 3 is probably, barring getting DeAndre Hopkins, 3 is the best that I think they can do this year.
Yeah. Our number 4 spot, last and really certainly least, the Houston Texans. I almost said Tennessee Titans. The Houston Texans, 3-13 last year. The bottom seed of the AFC. They had the second worst offense and the third worst defense. My only note is that CJ Stroud is their quarterback, and they play in Houston. And that is really all that needs to be said about them. There is nothing else. Like, that's just it.
I follow a lot of college football, a lot. Mm-hmm. You know, back when we did the Scandal Sports Hour, college sports were my thing. Like, there has been this draft class, Bryce Young, I wasn't even crazy about him going to Carolina. Just because, like,
oh, never mind.
Just because I'm not, like, I honestly feel like the best player offensively in this draft went to the Atlanta Falcons. So it's like a lot of these young quarterbacks that have come in, and like Anthony Richardson, I think he's going to be okay, but I see him as an RG3. Yeah. Like, I think he's going to have 1 or 2 good seasons. People are going to get hyped about him, and then he's just going to fade out.
Yep.
You know, and like CJ Stroud, you can be a really good quarterback and go to a really shitty team and still be a really shitty quarterback because of that. Like, if your team, team sucks, you can be great, but if you're not like if your team's ass, you're gonna look ass. I mean, there's really no
right.
CJ Stroud is not going to lead the Houston Texans to some remarkable turnaround.
Nope. And that's why they're at the 4th spot. So, just to quickly recap, we got Jacksonville at number 1, Indianapolis at number 2, Tennessee at number 3, and Houston at number 4. That is the AFC South, and that is our rankings. I don't know what division we're going to do next. This will be like every show we do, this will be included somewhere in it. Yeah.
I just got to say something. Sprite is good.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Shit. I'm not sipping on that starry half-ass Sierra Mist shit. Like, we don't do that in this house.
Yeah.
We drink Sprite because this is the all-American drink. Sprite. Sponsor us.
The sound of Sprite. That could be us. Yeah, Sprite's 100% my favorite soda of all time. I'm pretty sure. It's just refreshing. It's always there for you. You know, like you know what you're gonna get. You can't have a bad. It's good in all forms. Can, bottled, fountain. It's just all reliable. It truly is a staple. Yep. Moving on to our next subject, it is time for everybody's favorite segment, and that is Soundbite. Today's Soundbite. Well, first of all, lay it back up in case you don't know what Soundbite is. I'm going to tell you anyway, just in case you don't remember. Soundbite is where Steve and I will take a clip, post-game interview, podcast, someone says something interesting that we want to take a listen to, we listen. So for today's Soundbite, Victor Wembanyama and Britney Spears got into, I don't want to say an altercation, but there is something going on. People are being sued and backhands were being given. So let's take a listen to...
When I was walking with some security of the team to some restaurant, we were in a hall. There was a lot of people, so people calling me. Obviously, we talked before with the security. Don't stop because it's gonna make a crowd. I didn't see what happened because I was walking straight and we told don't stop. But that person grabbed me from behind, not on my shoulder. She grabbed me from behind, and so I just know that the security pushed her away. I don't know with how much force though, but I didn't stop to look, so I kept walking and enjoyed a nice dinner.
So there you have it. There is Victor talking about his encounter with Britney Spears and his security team. Very weird. One thing I was looking for was to see if it looked like it was rehearsed. I'm sure a PR team was like, listen, hey, here's what you're going to say when people ask you about it.
Yeah.
But honestly, I believe him. I think his reaction was genuine. I really don't think he had anything to do with the physical harm that came to Britney. Victor alluded to saying that she grabbed him in an inappropriate area, I'm going to say, because he was like, it wasn't on my shoulder, and he's pretty tall, and she's really not. So maybe grabbed him on the butt. I don't know. If that is the case, I'm not saying leaving a mark hit, like bringing down to the ground hit was warranted. But it's like Adam Hadwin and the guy running up with the champagne bottle. The security was just doing their job. Like, and that stuff probably happened so fast and like it's in the moment. Probably had no idea who he was hitting or how hard. Like, and, crazy people do stuff like that all the time.
First off, Britney Spears was at one point in time a galactic superstar.
Yes,
she was at one point in time everyone is down here and she's up here. Like, so I don't understand why she's standing outside a restaurant trying to get a hold of Victor Wembanyama either. That to me just doesn't make sense. You're Britney Spears. He should be trying to talk to you, not the other way around.
I see what you're saying. I don't know if that played into the interaction.
Well, I just don't know what apology she wants.
Well, I mean, I can see an apology coming from the security guard.
Yes.
Like, hey, I hit you too hard. It was not personal. I'm just doing my job, blah, blah, blah. I don't think Victor owes her anything. He had nothing to do with it.
He didn't even see it was her.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, like I said, I believe him that he was just walking, minding his business, doing what he was told, which was look forward and get to where he needed to be going. I think he had nothing to do with it.
He is 7'4", walking through a tree, walking through a sea of little people. He doesn't have the time to stop and see 5'6" Britney Spears and figure out it's her.
Yeah,
she comes up to his waist.
Britney's blowing is out of proportion, I think. I shouldn't. Like I said, if the security guard comes out, apologizes, makes nice.
I'd love to see some video.
All right, yeah. So that was today's soundbite. Those were our thoughts. That's what we think. Pretty straightforward. Yeah. Our final topic of the day. So it's not going to be us actually live talking to you right now. So we had a segment from last show that we had to cut out due to how long the video was going to be, and it is Steve and I ranking our top 20 NBA players for this coming season, but it is the first installment. We are doing players 1 through 5. So very much like the divisional segment, probably every so often we're going to come in with players who we think where they stand right now in the NBA hierarchy. Like I said, we did 1 through 5 for this coming season. You'll see our explanations in a little bit, but hope you enjoy that. So here we have it, our top 5 players in the NBA out of our top 20. We got Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Steph Curry, Joel Embiid, and Luka Doncic. Now, before we get into explaining all these things, I just want to say we already, just going 1 through 5, have not taken this lightly. These are tough decisions, but we're the sound. And we are responsible for delivering the most truthful and factual, that's a good way to put it, NBA information. And this is what we came up with. So number 1, Nikola Jokic, pretty easy one. Obviously just won the finals MVP, was the best player in the entire playoffs. He earned it. And we said that this is what it was going to take for him to earn it, was to be the best player on a championship or at least a legitimate contending team. I mean, he far and away proved that. 30, 14, and 7 in the NBA Finals, was very close to averaging a triple-double. The question now for Jokic is how long can he hold it?
Yep.
As we just mentioned before we started, this list can change at any point in time throughout the season. I think Giannis can very easily snatch it up, but for the time being, Nikola Jokic has very obviously earned the number 1 spot.
Until he won, I still had my hand on the crown, and I wasn't letting that SOB go because I didn't want to do it, but he earned it.
Yep.
And that's the thing. Now, start of the season could come around, and that could change. So
number 2, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, a first-round exit, yes, but losing to the Eastern Conference champion, how much value does that hold to you? There is no doubt, I don't think, that he is the best two-way player in the NBA. I don't think there's any doubt that he had a serious argument for winning the MVP this past season over Embiid. And I mentioned you, Steve, earlier. Giannis had made a post on social media about coming back hungry and ready for this upcoming season. I think he's going to average 40 points a game. I think this is going to be an unprecedented Giannis run. I think we see them probably back in the finals. Now, it's not my official prediction. We're going to make that later. But I think Giannis is a clear-cut, firm second best player in the league. Easily could be number one this coming season.
You know how I feel about Giannis. Giannis is a perennial all-time. You know, he's top 30 all-time. He's a guy, right? I'm correct on that, right?
Top 30 all time, yeah.
30, yeah. You know, Giannis is a guy who, I mean, we had to fight tooth and nail not to keep him at number one at one point in time before Jokic won. So, I mean, he is a firm number two.
Our number three, Steph Curry. Look, I can already hear people watching this video in the comments yelling at us.
Sixers fans are losing their
listen,
mind already.
Listen. 27, 5, and 6 in the playoffs for Steph Curry. A 30-point triple-double in the Lakers series for Steph Curry. Playing some of the best basketball of his life. Last 2 seasons has been in MVP conversations.
Yep.
And there is no doubt that Steph has a direct, clear-cut impact on winning basketball. I think that very much matters. Embiid has just unfortunately proven time and time again that he just lacks that gene, or whatever you want to call it, that these other guys have.
Yeah.
It's very controversial, and I understand Embiid just won the MVP, first team All-NBA, all that good stuff. Steph can come in next season and blow it, and Embiid can start popping off, and that's fine. We'll move him at that time. But right now, as we sit, I gotta say Steph Curry's better than Embiid, and he sits at number 3.
And here's what I'll say to all the people that are saying, "Oh, but Joel Embiid, blah, blah." All right, listen. You're talking to a diehard Sixers fan, and you're talking to somebody who loves Joel Embiid and was really fighting for him. And I'm the one that me and Cam were getting ready to keep him at 3 just because. And I said, "No, Cam, it's okay. We can move him to 4." Like Joel Embiid, yeah, okay. If you score 33 straight 30-point games in the playoffs, doesn't that matter? Yes, it matters. But when you're doing it in games that aren't closeout games or aren't must-win games, no, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Like, because that just like it's almost like a participation trophy. Like, here, you played really, really well, but you guys didn't win. But I'll still give you your flowers. No, Joel Embiid's at 4.
And we've also said that in the postseason is where things are proven and where if the decisions we made during the regular season are correct or not. And Steph Curry had a really good regular season and a arguably better postseason than Embiid. It's just how much does that matter?
Embiid didn't play bad. He just, what we all expected him to do, he was nothing close to.
Yeah. So we got Steph Curry number 3, and we kind of already have been talking about it. Joel Embiid sitting at number 4. All the reasons we mentioned. Now, obviously, just is the league MVP, as I mentioned, first team All-NBA at the starting center spot. It was not an easy choice bumping Embiid down to 4. It's just what's been happening in the playoffs. But we can't use that against him and act like his regular season did not happen. We can't act like, he was one of the best scorers, the clear cut. Now, we said Jokic in the regular season was 3rd on my MVP list. Embiid was the better two-way player. He was the best center in the NBA. Now, that is probably not true anymore. And Embiid had been doing things at his size and position that we hadn't seen for a long time. And he was unstoppable at one point in that season. So we can't act like all those things didn't happen just because his playoff performances last season wasn't great. So we have Embiid at a hard number 4.
Oh, yeah. Hard 4.
Now, I'll say this. He is on the fringe of being a top 5 player. Yeah, only because if consistently proving you're not a winner to me, I'm kind of over you at that point. All
right. Daryl Morey, listen very closely. You talk to Pat Riley. Let me say something real quick. Daryl Morey, listen real close, bud. All right. You want to keep Embiid on this list? You go get Damian Lillard. Listen, Sixers fans, I understand. but Joel Embiid is a top 5 player in the NBA. And if we want to win a championship with Joel Embiid, the only way we're going to do that is if you, Daryl Morey, go out and get this man some help. I want to keep him on this list the whole season. I'd like to see him elevate. But until you get him some help, or until you find – now maybe Nick Nurse can unlock Joel Embiid's potential in the playoffs and he creates this monster. But until that happens, come on.
And number 5, we have Luka Doncic. Now,
This was hard.
This was hard because we had some other people at 5. We were wondering maybe if Luka should be there, but 32, 9, and 8 in the regular season, you can't necessarily say that missing the playoffs was his fault. I mean, we mentioned earlier Kyrie dropping them 6 spots for what they had to give up to get him. They clearly didn't get any better yet, but that really had nothing to do with Luka. There have been talks that he's one of the greatest playoff performers already. Now, we're not buying into that, but the fact that those conversations are happening speaks a lot to who he is. It seems disrespectful to not have Luka as a top 5 player, and he might be the single most valuable player in the league because of his age, because of his team presence, and because of just literally what he can do on the basketball court. So for all those reasons, we have Luka at number 5.
Yeah, I'm just briefly looking up. I'm pretty sure that against the Clippers, Luka Doncic had multiple 30-point triple-doubles.
Probably.
In that one series. I think he even had a 40-point triple-double in that series against them. And, Luka Doncic is a guy that, and you just gave me a moment of clarity, actually, with something you just said. Luka Doncic has already proven that in the playoffs, he can elevate.
Mm-hmm.
And Embiid has already proven in the playoffs that he can't. It's bad that he didn't make it this year, but I can't say it's not all his fault. Now, he is not one of the greatest playoff performers ever.
No.
Stop sipping that Kool-Aid, Nick Wright. Calm down.
People got him top 30 already, bro.
There's a name not on this list that you and me were really, really like, do we live in a world where Kevin Durant is not top 5? And that is... I'm
tough.
Like when I woke up this morning and we said we were doing this list, and I remembered that we didn't have Kevin Durant top 5.
It's very tough.
I had an internal struggle. It's
very, very tough. I think, but just because Durant missed such a chunk of the season with his injury. Now again, Durant was another one like Steph who had been playing some of the best basketball of his life this season. But it's not fair to the other guys who played more. Spoiler alert, we got Durant at 6, but I think having him any lower than 6 is inherently and blatantly incorrect.
No, yeah, Kevin Durant is a firm 6. Like,
I got no problem with Kevin Durant being in the top 5. I will listen to a Kevin Durant top 5 argument. I just don't know who you're taking out. Now, again, like we said, this list is fluid, can change at any point in time. So we can come out the next season and Durant could be 3. You know what I mean? Like, this is not set in stone.
I want our viewers to know, me and Cam spent an hour and 50 minutes last night on the phone trying to figure out if Luka, like a large portion of that phone call was this list. Like,
and even we spent time this morning on the phone figuring it out again.
And it was all 3 through 5, 3, 4, and 5. 1 and 2 were cemented. 3, 4, and 5. It took us that long to figure. So please understand, we didn't make these decisions lightly.
No.
Like, this was a very thought out, and like there was work put into this list.
And you said it to me earlier, and it's something that's really true. We are the sound, so we need to be the ones that make the tough decisions and just go off of the facts and no bias. And that's what we did. And this is what we came up with. Players 1 through 5 of our top 20 NBA player list. Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Steph Curry, Joel Embiid, and Luka Doncic. There you have it.
First series of our top 20 players done. That's
6 through 10.
If you don't agree with us, let us know.
Yeah.
Comment.
No, yeah.
Please, if there's ever something we say that you guys are just blatantly wrong, we would love to A, host you on our show and discuss it and debate it, or B, just let us know why. And maybe one of these series will actually do a little response segment. People don't agree, and we'll come on and tell you why you sleep with your dad. Because who are we, Cam?
The Sound.
And what do we do?
Provide intelligent and cogent sports analysis.
So anybody who doesn't agree with what we say, please let us know. We're not going to be mean. We might tell you sleep with your dad and you're wrong, but that's the worst that you're going to get from us.
Yeah. So yeah, top 5 players in the league. And with that, that's going to do it for us today. It's a great show, clean and simple. This might be the least amount of video I'm going to have to edit since we've been doing this, which I am very, very happy with. Good for us. I thought we always say we were efficient, but today we were legitimately like...
Oh, we were efficient as hell.
We got through some stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you stayed cool in this ridiculous heat outside. It is brutal. Stay indoors, folks. Listen to the sound. Stay up on your sports. And always remember, if you are ever in need of intelligent and cogent sports analysis, just listen to the sound. We will always have you covered. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We will see you guys next time. Have a good rest of your day. Take care.
Listen to the sound. I listen to the sound.